Hello everyone, my name is Rachel. I'm an instructor here at Niche. Today we have a 30-minute Planksgiving, everyone's favorite. So we're going to be doing some fun plank variations today and with some modifications and amplifications. So before we get started with the planks though, we're going to start with a warm-up. So go ahead, and I have 3 reds on to start. Have your spring load, but you can kind of play with what feels good. And we'll get started laying down on our backs. So as you settle here, I like to place my feet to the foot bar. Platform is also always an option. Let me move these straps down. Alrighty. So we're just gonna arrive here in our breath. I like to start by generally bringing my eyes to a gentle close or a soft gaze on the ceiling and just coming into this moment, right? And starting to connect to our breath. So placing one hand on your belly, one hand on your chest as you inhale, feeling your breath expand, the ribs expanding here. Holding that breath at the top and then exhaling through pursed lips. Letting that breath expel completely. Inhale deep through the nose. Holding at the top. And exhale. Let all that air go. Beautiful. As you exhale, keep working that elongation of your inhale and exhale. And as you exhale, I want you to think about drawing your navel to your spine, feeling that breath exhale and pressing the lower back down to the carriage. Inhale. Let's take 2 more. Let that breath go. One more deep inhale. Press that breath all the way out. Feel the lower back press to the carriage. Beautiful. Go ahead, flutter your eyes open. Come back to that present moment. As we get started here, I just want to bring attention and awareness to our neutral spine. So in planks especially, when we're mostly doing those in a more prone position, not on our belly, but we have our hands down, it can be harder to find neutral spine. So we're just gonna take some time to really focus on it. When I pull my navel to the spine, right, I'm eliminating space from the lower back, right, from any arch in my lower back. And as I inhale and I tilt that pelvis forward, I'm finding that lift in my lower back. So I want you to take a few pelvic rocks here, just where you're finding that tight core and neutral spine, and then where you lift and you find the arch in the back. So we don't really exist in Pilates in this position, but it's nice to bring awareness to your pelvic floor, with the pelvic floor muscles, and that connection that it creates with your core, right? So much of what we do in here in Pilates is that connection of core to breath through the neutral spine. So it's really important that we keep that awareness and focus there. Good, pressing down, inhaling, coming up. Let's take 2 more pelvic rocks. Again, this is that beginning of class where you're really just trying to bring awareness and warming up the body in ways that we don't necessarily do in normal everyday life. Then on your next time that you press that lower back down, keep the navel pulled to spine. Beautiful. Arms are gonna be long down by your spine on the carriage, and we're gonna float the legs to perfect tabletop. So key here is to keep those knees stacked over the hips, right? Keeping the shins as parallel as you can keep them and flexing the toes back towards your face. Good. You're gonna stay right here, and then on your exhale, you're gonna lift your head, neck, and shoulders and reach those hands past your hips. So you're up in flexion with the shoulder blades off the carriage. Beautiful. Then I want you to exhale, press your right leg long and low and point the toes. Then inhale, drawing back to center. So you're just alternating the legs here while you're keeping that navel pulled to spine, finding some tension through the quads, keeping those hands reached past your hips, and breathing. So we're adding on breath, core, and movement, right? So it's a little bit harder here, a little bit more of a challenge. Keep working through the breath. Let's take 1 more each leg. And then as you bring those knees in, keep that flexion. This time, exhale, press both legs out, flex the toes back towards your face, then draw them over your hips. So you're working that press and inhale. Press, inhale. Pull your navel to spine. You should feel that tension and warmth building through the lower abdominals and the core. For 3. Last 2. And 1, hold them out. Heels together, toes apart, tiny heel clicks in that position. Feeling the tension on the inner thighs for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Woo! Bringing the knees side to side. Feel that lower back release here. Good work. All right, one more little warm-up activation, then we'll get ready with our planks. So, catching the breath, arms are long down by your side. Knees will float back to that tabletop position, pulling the toes back towards the face. Again, navel pulls down into the spine. Exhale, you lift head, neck, and shoulders. This time the hands come behind the head. Equal pressure from hands to head, head to hands. On your exhale, you're gonna take your right elbow and reach it towards the left knee. It probably won't touch, and that's okay. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, twist to the left or right. So left elbow to right knee. Inhale through center. So you're just working this twist, slow though, and with no movement in the lower body. As you can see, my knees want to try and start to move. You've got to keep that stability strong and stable. Warming up through the obliques here for 2 more each side. And release. Beautiful. All right, that's our little warm up, and we're gonna hop right into our Planksgiving. So, as you carefully roll up with the spine, we're gonna go ahead and put 1 blue on or 1 red. It's kind of whatever resistance you wanna play with. The red is a little bit heavier. I kind of like the blue as an intermediate because sometimes with less resistance and planking, it's actually quite hard. So we're gonna put on our blue. You're gonna take your box nearby and place it onto your carriage short. So that means it's kind of perpendicular to the carriage and it's flush up against the shoulder blocks here. We'll come to sit on the short box facing your foot bar. So the setup of this plank series is really important. I want you to bring your heels to the box. So you're on your toes, your heels are up. And again, you're on that blue spring or red, so it's pretty light. I just want you to shift the weight forward as you bring your tailbone to a hover over the box. So you're in a squat here. Good. Now, I want you to try and be as parallel as possible, pulling up through the navel and to the spine. As you inhale, you're slowly, minding your balance, gonna stand tall. So this really takes a lot of coordination from your hamstrings and the balance, right? Your core is integral to connecting both those things. On your exhale, you're gonna sink low, hover that tailbone, find that almost parallel position with your legs. Inhale, stand tall. So we're just working squats. At the top of your when you stand tall, I want you to press your hips forward and pull the navel to spine. So you're feeling this really nice, slow, steady movement. You might hear some funny noises from the box, just pressing into the shoulder blocks, that's okay. So my knees, I want them to stay in line with my hips as best as possible, so we're not letting them flare in or out. Nice. Be nice and slow and strong here, right? The slower, the better. Let's take 2 more. On that last one, we'll stand tall here. Pause. Now, as you sink low into your next squat, you're gonna bring your hands to the foot bar, thumbs stay with your fingers. That's really important. And you want the hands pretty wide, almost the width of the foot bar. On your exhale, you're gonna press out into a high plank. So the shoulders stay over the wrists. My navel pulls up into my spine, and I have slight flexion to the upper back here. The carriage is pretty stable. Now, on the inhale, I'm gonna drive the knees under the hips, so it's a scooter for 3, for 2, last 1. Press out, hold that strong plank. Now on the inhale, you're gonna bend the knees, park the carriage as you shift the hips back, and you stand tall. That's your move. So we're gonna run through this. You come sink low, hands to foot bar. Shift the weight over your wrists, press out, find full extension. Then you take 3 scooters. Hold in that max tension. Slowly draw the carriage in, sink the hips back. Stand tall. Again, being mindful of your balance. Let's move through 2 more sets. On these last 2, after you do your 3 scooters, little challenge for a chest push-up. Yes. So strong, everyone. Park that carriage, sink back, stand tall. Woo. Be mindful of your balance. Even sometimes you gotta reset. Hands to foot bar, shift the weight forward, hold that plank. 3 scooters. Hold strong, chest push up. Ring that carriage in and slowly sit back. Ooh, shake it out. Excellent work. That planking is not easy, let me tell you. All right, so when you're ready, you're gonna bring your feet, keep them, again, kickstand it up on that box. You're gonna bring your shoulders over the wrists, and then exhale, you're gonna press out and just hold that plank. Good, we're gonna start with some mountain climbers. So you're gonna draw your right knee to nose and then left. So the key here and the challenge is not to let the carriage move as you use the lower abdominals to pull in knee to nose and work that plank. So strong. Keep alternating, keep that pace nice and steady. For 4, 3, keep pulling navel to spine, 2, and 1. Hold out, pull your hips up to bring the carriage in. Find that forward fold, release. Whew, nice work. All right, carefully, might need to use the foot bar to help. We're gonna flip around to face our rider. So the back of the carriage here. And before we get started, just 2 options. With this plank series, you can either bring your feet to the platform or the foot bar. The foot bar is quite a challenge. I'm going to cue from the platform, but again, that is always an option. It's just putting more tension on the core, which gives you a little bit more work. So, elbows are going to come to the box. I'm going to have my feet on the platform. On your exhale, you're gonna find full extension. Your shoulders will stack over the elbows. On your inhale, you're gonna drive the carriage in, exhale, press back. And before you even keep moving, keep pressing up through the upper back, right? And drawing the navel into the spine. That in itself is enough work, right? As you find exhale, I want you to hold and squeeze those quads. Inhale, the knees come under the hips. Good. Finding full extension, squeeze, inhale, drawing that carriage in. For 5, 4, 3, last 2, and 1. Hold that carriage out. Now take your elbows, glide them forward past your shoulders, and then restack them. Working on that lat control, shoulder stability, all those tiny muscles in your rotator cuff. For 5, 4, gazes right down at your box. For 3, last 2, and 1. Elbows stack right back under your shoulders. As you lift the tailbone, your gaze goes back, hips high into a pike. You're finishing this set series strong. Nice. So again, pulling navel to spine as you reach the hips back. Find that pull. For 5, 4, 3, last 2, so strong. And 1, carefully bring your knees down. Whew, shake it out. Planksgiving is real, y'all. Lots to be thankful for though, that our bodies can do this and are this strong. Never forget that. All right, so we're gonna come to a side plank now. So just the left elbow will be on the box. Again, I encourage you to start with the platform. If you're feeling ambitious, try the foot bar. So as you get ready, you're gonna press out on that left elbow, and I just like to keep my feet in parallel here. Good, pull that right shoulder back. Right arm goes up over the chest. As you exhale, squeeze, rotate, thread the needle, and then inhale, you rise. So you're feeling that left oblique work, right? We warmed those up earlier. Feel that tension, feel that squeeze. For 3, last 2, and 1. Reach the right hand up. Now upper body stay stable. You're gonna scoot those knees in and out. Keep that left hip lifted, so maybe use your hand to stabilize. For 4, last 3, 2, and 1. Hold out, max tension for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Whew, I might take a few cat-cows here, modified obviously. Just release. Kind of shake it out. Whew. You guys are crushing it. All right, we've got 2 more plank variations, and then we're gonna come down and stretch it out. So you guys are crushing it, stay with me. Again, the gratitude that we have for our bodies is so important. We can be here and doing this. It's truly a blessing, so. All right, let's bring our elbows back down to the carriage so we're on both elbows. Find that foot placement that feels good and challenges you. And then we'll meet in full extension. Good, so this time you're gonna keep that box stable with your arms. As you exhale, you're gonna draw the right knee to the right elbow. So just in and out. Exhale, you squeeze. Inhale, you press back. For 3, 2, 1. Now you're gonna drive that knee towards your nose. So you're gonna lift up a little bit as you do so too. For 3, 2, and 1. Now you're gonna take that knee cross body, right knee to left elbow. For 3, woo, careful of the foot bar too. And 1, beautiful. Bring those knees down. Getting sweaty, y'all. This box be moving. All right, reset. Take a little stretch for the core. We got that on our other leg now. So we're gonna come back to those elbows, onto the box. Your right foot's going to plant strong now. Left elbow to left knee. Keep that lift in your hips, slight flexion to the upper back. For 3, 2, and 1. Now driving knee to nose. Pulling that knee in, and then releasing it down. For 3, 2, last 1. Now you're taking that left knee to right elbow across your side body, feeling into those obliques. For 3, 2, and 1. Bringing these down. Release. All right, we're almost there, guys. We made it. We've got our plank on our right elbow, facing the left side now. So being mindful of your setup, making sure that that right elbow is strong, finding your feet either on the platform or foot bar. We'll start with our thread the needle. So left arm reaches tall, inhale. As you reach, exhale as you squeeze. Finding that nice work on that right oblique. And then finding that big long line as you reach tall. For 3. Last 2. And 1. Now left hand stays tall. As you inhale, draw the knees in, scooting that body in and out. Keep the hips lifted. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold out max tension for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees come down. Oh my goodness, shake it out. Give yourself a pat on the back. That was hard. The box will come off back where you found it. We'll go ahead and place 2 reds on to stretch it out. Alrighty. Whew. Catch your breath if needed. Wipe that sweat. All right, we're gonna lie down on our back. So 2 reds on, long loops come onto our feet, placing them right around the midfoot. Ooh, and then I like to start by pulling on those ropes to feel a hamstring stretch here. Feeling that tension down through the lower back. Release from the ankle down. Nice, just kind of catch your breath here. Planking is not for the weak. All right, I like to take my hands in a triangle over my pelvis as I start to work into my leg circles, just picking one direction to start with. Taking these slow and steady, right, and still being mindful to really engage through the neutral spine. Right tailbone, again, stays on that carriage, feeling the inner thighs work as you come in, up and around. Good, and then maybe going ahead, switching your directions. Our legs come out wide to the side, up and around. Maybe here's some nice crackles from the springs or from the ropes. Nice, taking your time here. And then we'll take 2 more. Nice, and as you finish, those feet will come up over your hips into happy baby. Then you'll bend your knees out wide. You can bend, extend one leg, maybe the other. Sometimes rocking from side to side feels really nice here. Whew. Finding that release in your breath. We'll take Peter Pan. So left knee will point out to the left side while the right foot points out to the right side. So you're in this kind of Peter Pan position. Again, I like to hold both ropes because it helps me feel a little bit more of a stretch and a pull, but find what feels good. Nice, inhale, come through center. Go ahead, switch right knee out wide to the right side, left leg points long out to the left. Keep breathing. Those deep breaths are juicy at the end of class. On your inhale, bring those feet in together. Now take the soles of your feet together, knees wide, and then slowly let gravity pull your feet towards the well. Whew. It's my favorite stretch to do here on the reformer. Use your exhale to sink in a little bit deeper. Find that release through your legs. Maybe even close your eyes here. Just taking a moment for that gratitude piece like I mentioned earlier. Really honoring your body, all that it does for you, right? The ability to be here, showing up on the reformer, wherever you are, right? That's such a privilege, and really being grateful for what our body can do for us and how strong it really is, right? It's always something to celebrate. You should just really hold with love and grace. Let's take a final inhale through the nose, deep breath in. Exhale it out. Beautiful work. As you slowly come back to this present moment, if your eyes were closed, you're gonna bring those feet up. You can take one strap off and then the other, hanging those back up on your shoulder blocks. As we slowly roll up back to a seated position, coming back to that real world. Again, my name's Rachel. Thank you so much for joining us for this 30-minute Planksgiving. We got good sweat on in that 30 minutes, but truly so grateful for you being here, and I hope you have a blessed rest of your day. Bye, thank you.